Hey everyone, this is Jennifer and this is my third trimester recap video, and I'm saying to myself, I promised myself that I'm going to upload this video today because I am 38 weeks and on Saturday I'll be 39 weeks. So I'm literally, today is Friday. Is today Friday? No, today's Thursday. Just had like a brain fart there. So on Saturday I'll be 39 weeks. And so I'm literally almost 40. And so I'm already getting to that point where I'm a little nervous because this is my first pregnancy. So I'm nervous as far as like, when is it going to happen? Am I going to be overdue? Or am I going to be under the 40 weeks? So a lot of pregnancies, it could literally happen either way. A lot of people have it at 41, almost 42 weeks. So it's like, I have no idea. But I really want to do this video because if it does happen at any point, like in these days or next week, I want to have this video out already. So what I want to talk about is I made a list because I tend to like over talk, or like I just want to get to like the main points. So yeah, I am 38 weeks and my due date is June 29. So my due date is literally in 9 days, which is really scary because she hasn't come yet. We actually thought she was gonna be here 2 weeks ago, and that was because I had to go to the hospital because of a really bad diarrhea that I had, and I was doing a lot of research and reading, and I read that diarrhea is like a kind of like a starter for labor. So originally we thought it was something that we ate in a restaurant. It could have been that. I don't know what happened, but I got diarrhea for a really long time. Like I'm talking over 10 hours. And so their scare was for me to get dehydrated. So when I went in to just get a regular checkup to see how I was, how the baby was, she checked me and I was 4 centimeters dilated in that moment. And I'm actually still 4 centimeters dilated. So that's why I want to get this video up already, because I'm kind of nervous that it might happen already. So yeah, she basically sent me to the hospital, and I got some IV put in, but at the end I didn't like progress in my labor, so she just sent me back home. But I actually had an appointment yesterday, and they told me that the baby's head is very low, and the baby's head has already been very low since 35 weeks. So she's been getting really, really low like every day. And so he said her head is really low and that I was still 4 centimeters dilated. So he just said all we're waiting for is for your water to break and stuff. And so I'm getting really nervous about that. I'm getting like to the anxious point of it because we don't know when her birthday is going to be. She's the one that's going to decide that. So I'm just hoping that it's either before the 40 or at the 40 weeks. And I don't want to be induced. So I really don't want to get Pitocin or just be induced. I know that's probably not a bad thing. It's not a super bad thing, but I want my body to do it naturally, and that's what I'm praying for. So another thing I wanted to talk about, which I really wanted to talk about in this video, because I don't see much information out there about it. So as of practically once I entered my third trimester, a lot of things started to kind of flare up. So a lot of things in the sense, like a lot of these little symptoms started to show up. Nothing really, really, really bad, but one of them is this something called Puppp Rash. So the name of the rash is a pup. The definition is really long. So I'm just going to put it right here. It's basically these rashes that's rashes / hives, because that's what mine's kind of look like hives. It looks like a bug bit me and it left, like a big rash. And so I actually found out about that. I was looking into it because as of 35 weeks, I started feeling really itchy. Like I started getting really itchy. It first started on my feet, and it started on the palms of my feet, and then I started just soaking myself in Epsom salt, and I thought that was gonna help because I thought maybe the swelling was making me itchy. And then I noticed that I started getting itchy like on my hands, and so that really scared me because when I was looking into it, there's something called cholestasis, which is basically a liver condition, like a liver issue. Basically, it can be a serious condition that can affect the baby, and so I got really scared. So once my hand started itching and started itching really bad, that's when I called the doctor, which was about 2 weeks ago, and she basically told me that I don't have cholestasis because they did a blood work and they can check like my bile numbers for my liver, and so I guess it was a good number because she told me that I don't have it. But she did tell me, but for my visit that I had yesterday, he looked into the rashes because I started getting itchy in the appointment. And so he looked at my stomach and he said that it could be Pupps. So when you go on Google and you look up Pupps, you don't get much information on it, and there's really not much you could do. There's nothing that they recommend because when you're pregnant, you can't really take much. So basically what he prescribed is just a anti-cortisone or hydrocortisone, whatever, an ointment that I can put to prevent the itching. But I'm telling you, this itch is like really bad, and I'm gonna insert some photos of how red my skin gets, like on my neck, on my stomach. It's not as bad as I've seen. I did see a video yesterday of someone that had Puppp Rash, and her rashes were really red and intense, like they're like bumps. And so mine are not bumps, they're just like long hives, and it gets red. And so it gets red on my neck, on my hands, and honestly, I've never heard about this before. I didn't even know that this existed. I thought in pregnancy it's just about stretch marks and having a baby, that's it. But there's so many things like that just come along with it because everyone is different, and I guess I don't know what factors come into play with all these new things. I don't know if it's diet or water or exercise, or I don't know what it is, but literally I've never heard about this till now. So what I've been trying to do to manage the itching and just try to like relieve myself a bit is I'm taking Benadryl. So I take Benadryl at night because I feel like most of the times I get woken up at night with the itching on my legs and on my hands and just on my stomach. And on my stomach, I've been trying not to scratch because I know about the stretch marks and stuff. And I do have some stretch marks like that I've literally got entering my 3rd trimester. I got stretch marks, and they're actually like, some days they're very red and long, and some days they're not so apparent, like they're not so there. So it's like, I don't know. But for the Puppp rashes, for the itching, what I've been doing is taking literally like 30 minutes to an hour baths twice a day, and I use this, which has been helping. It's been helping a lot because when I soak in it, which this is basically an oatmeal bath, and that's what they suggest. But before even anyone suggested it, I just decided to get something like this because I know that oatmeal and eczema, it's all like associated together. So I thought this will be the right thing to buy, and it wasn't that expensive. It's basically a pack of 8 packets, and they look like this, and you just practically put them in your bath, and you soak in it. So sometimes I use 2 in a bath, sometimes I just use 1. So it really just depends how I'm feeling in the moment. And so it just basically says that it relieves itching skin, and I feel like it does relieve it temporarily, but it does give you at least a few good hours of not itching as much, you know. So I feel like this has helped. And so I tend to get out of breath because, you know, I'm really pregnant, so if I'm getting so much out of breath, just ignore me. And so that's what I've been using for that. I literally have been using my baby's body wash because this is the only thing I have that's fragrance free, and it also has oatmeal, and this is basically it's fragrance free, and I think this is for eczema. Well, it doesn't really say it, but it's literally fragrance free. It's for dry, sensitive skin, and it's really moisturizing. So this is the Soothing Relief Creamy Wash, and so I've been using this. This has been good because it doesn't have any like fragrance, so it's not going to irritate anywhere, because I'm also itchy downstairs, in the back, everywhere. Like, it was just itchy everywhere, and this helps a lot. So when I'm itchy downstairs, I use this, and this looks really funny. but it's literally a gel pack. It's an ice pack with gel, and it's basically for the shape of, you know, down there. It just fits perfectly there. So they come with these little packets, so it's more like sanitary, you know. So you just insert them in and you put them in your freezer, and then when you're feeling itchy, which mostly I bought this for postpartum, because I want to have a vaginal birth, and just in case like I tear a little bit, or if it's just painful down there, I can just put this ice pack on, and I feel like it'll help with that. So I just decided to use this, and this does help when I'm feeling very itchy, that like I really can't like stop scratching myself. I'll just put this down there, and that'll help relieve the itchiness. As funny as this looks, it really does help. Something else that's been helping me relieve the itch really fast, like once I put it on my hand, it just, I don't know what this has, but I've had it in my bathroom, and so I decided to take it out to use it. And basically this is called Calm, and it's a steroid-free hydrogel. I think I got this in CVS or Rite Aid, and I'm sure this was under $10. So it says here it's steroid-free. Once I put this on my skin, like I stop itching right away. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna itch again, but it relieves it temporarily. And so at this point, anything that relieves my itchiness temporarily, I'm totally doing. So that's those items that are helping with the rash. So yeah, and then also the Benadryl, with the 25 milligram Benadryl that I take at night. Then this supposedly goes away after you deliver. So moving on from Puppp Rash, I'm just gonna run through my list pretty quickly because I don't want the video to be extremely long either, because I don't like watching 40-50 minute videos either. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, as far as like third trimester symptoms recapping, is stretch marks. And so I did already mention that a few minutes ago. I do have stretch marks, and they're pretty visible. I started off using this Palmer's butter, it's like a thick cream that has coconut oil and all these oils in them. I've been using that since the beginning of pregnancy, since the first trimester. But once I hit the third trimester, I started getting stretch marks. Like I woke up and I had stretch marks, and I couldn't believe it, just because like my mom doesn't have stretch marks, so I thought that was kind of like genetic. But what I can say is that my belly is really big. It's really big. So she's pretty big, and I think that's what it is. That's why I'm getting stretch marks, because she's really big and my stomach has stretched so much. But yeah, I think that's what it could have been. So what I'm using now is, I stopped using that one just because I didn't want to go to Walmart to buy it again. And on Amazon, they have it super overpriced. Like on Walmart, the butter is like $5, and on Amazon it's $10. Why? I don't know. But I just stopped buying that, and I'm just using the Palmer's coconut oil body oil, which I don't really like this much, because when you put it on and it doesn't stay on, it doesn't like, it moisturizes for like maybe an hour or two, but then it dries up and you have to reapply it. So there's just really no point. And also, this is not pure coconut oil. This has a whole bunch of other ingredients that I don't like. Benzoyl alcohol, benzoate, like what is all this stuff? So I don't even know why I bought this. And it says here, these raw natural ingredients. So I don't know. I don't like that. I want to use something more natural. So I am going to go out and buy coconut oil, pure coconut oil, and even baby oil, whatever, just any kind of oil to sort of like moisturize my skin, because I did get a few stretch marks. So another thing on my list that I wanted to talk about is my labor and delivery plans. So like I said, I do want to have a vaginal birth. I do want it to be natural, and I'm praying that I don't need an epidural or or have a C-section. I just want to have an unmedicated birth. And it's funny because it's something that I have always prayed for. So I've always, since long time ago, for like years, I always prayed that I want to have like a natural, unmedicated birth, a good pregnancy. I've been praying for that for a long time, and so far my pregnancy has been very good. It has not been, luckily I don't have diabetes, I don't have high blood pressure, I started getting heart palpitations in my second trimester. I felt like I was getting them a lot, and I even went to the cardiologist, but thank God everything is perfectly fine. It's just probably, she just said it's just associated with pregnancy and that it should go away after I deliver. But that's pretty much it. My pregnancy has been very good, and I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful that she's healthy, and so am I. So yeah, those are my plans. So I hope for my labor and delivery story video that I want to do, that happens. So I'm really just trying to be positive and think about that. Am I nervous? Yes, I'm really nervous. So another thing I wanted to talk about is inducing labor. So I've literally been thinking about it. I've been thinking about natural ways to induce it. So a friend of mine on Instagram told me that primrose oil, it comes like in little pills. You can break them out of the pill, and that oil, you can insert it into your vagina, and that can help induce labor. At first I didn't want to do that, but now I'm thinking about it. So that helped her get into labor like the next day or something like that. I've also been looking into the red raspberry tea. I don't know if you guys have done either one, let me know. And also walking. I've been trying to walk. I'm not gonna lie, I get super tired, which is kind of annoying, but I do get really tired if I walk a lot. So I'm just trying to go out maybe and try to walk at least 15 minutes, 15 minutes maybe twice a day. So I try to get my 30 minutes in, but I do want to walk a little bit more. And I'll let you guys know if any of this stuff works for me. I'm still thinking about the red raspberry tea, but maybe the primrose oil. It doesn't hurt to put some oil in your vagina. You're already getting a lot of things are going on anyway. So another thing that I wanted to talk about that I've noticed in my third trimester is little bumps on my neck and like tiny little pimples. They're not pimples, they're like the pre-pimple that you get when you're in like high school and middle school. So I just been getting those on my neck and under my chin. So I have mostly on this side, it just feels very bumpy, and then on this side and also on my chest. And I don't know if that has anything to do with sweating, because I sweat a lot at night, and I sweated a lot up until maybe 3 weeks ago. I stopped sweating as much, but before that I would sweat every single night. Like I was drenched in sweat, and I obviously blame that on the hormones and the pregnancy. So I don't know if that has anything to do with that. Another thing is the bathroom is my best friend. I am constantly in the bathroom. And it's funny because when I take Benadryl at night, I'll take 2 pills and that will knock me out. I still wake up to go to the bathroom. Like my body just wakes me up, and I will wake up every 2.5, 3 hours. And there's even days where I wake up and I just stay up in the morning. So I'm like, it's like 4:30 in the morning, and my dog is just next to me, and we're just like looking at each other. So there's just some days where I can't sleep. Like I just don't sleep. Yeah. And so sleeping is very uncomfortable. I can't sleep on my right side ever. I have to sleep on my left side because my right side, I feel like that's where her legs are. And so she kicks all the time on this side, and I feel like it's kicking all my organs, and so it hurts really bad. So I have to sleep on my left side, and that's where I'm the most comfortable-ish. And so I just try to have like 2 pillows on my head, a pillow on my leg, a pillow in between my leg, and whatever extra pillow I have wrapped around my arms. So that is definitely what I've been doing. What I consider a pregnancy pillow, yes, I feel like I should have bought it. I don't know why I didn't, but if you're thinking about buying it, if you're pregnant right now, or I don't know, if you're in your second or first trimester, then just buy it. I mean, at this point, I'm not going to buy it because I'm already towards the end of my pregnancy, and I also thought, what am I going to do with this pillow afterwards? So that's why I didn't buy it. But if it's going to help make your life and your sleep more comfortable, then I just buy it. I also want to talk about hemorrhoids, and this is for real. So I mean, I've always had like constipation issues before. The constipation that I have now has started, up until recently. So up until 2 weeks ago, when they told me that I was 4 centimeters dilated, like that day is when diarrhea has started and it hasn't finished. So it's like that's my stools are very like loose like that. They're very out there. So that has caused my hemorrhoids to come out, and so they have prescribed like an ointment. I also bought this ointment on Amazon, which I will do in a future video, let you guys know if that helped. It was $30, so I really hope that it does help. And also my doctor recommended a suppository, and he says that will help for the hemorrhoids to go back up. And so if neither of that works, if my hemorrhoids don't go back up, I'm getting surgery. Like, I don't want those things out. Okay, so to sort of wrap up the video, I also wanted to talk about how the baby is moving so strongly. Like, her moves are not as frequent and not as much, but when she moves, you can feel it and you can see it. So that's definitely something towards the end that you're gonna notice, that I've been noticing. Her moves are really strong, and it even scares people sometimes. Like, my mom is scared her, Manny, my husband, is scares him. Sometimes it even scares me because her leg just sort of like comes out for like a few seconds and then goes back. Something else I wanted to talk about is what's been helping me in the third trimester, and that's staying comfortable. So that means a lot of leggings, cardigans, super just comfortable clothing, because at this point I don't wear jeans. Like, I don't want to wear any jeans because just putting them on is annoying, and just honestly I don't even want to look nice. I just try to be as comfortable as possible, and I feel like you can get a lot of things in Burlington. Also on Amazon, which I got these tank tops on Amazon because it is getting hot in here. And so there's multiple things that I've been buying on Amazon, but I feel like the clothing on Amazon, like the material is not, it's not like very soft. So this is one of the things that I wish could have been a little bit more softer. That's my dog. I wish I could have gotten in large because it's a medium and it fits me kind of tight. And so it's not as soft, which I would have wanted, but it does the job. Also, nursing bras, I did get some on Amazon that I really, really liked. And those I did get in a medium, but they are pretty stretchable and they look pretty nice. So I'm just gonna put a picture here of the ones that I got because I forgot the name, and I have them right now in my like labor bag, so I don't want to take it out because it's just gonna take a long time. So I do recommend not to go by Amazon size charts because those are not accurate. So the last few things just to end the video is having a big water with you at all times, because I feel like throughout the day you just forget to drink water, especially if you didn't drink water much before. So I got this on Groupon, and it's a 128 ounce. Yeah, it's a gallon of water pretty much that I'm walking around with. And so my husband laughs at me because this is pretty big and it can get pretty heavy if you fill it up like I did. But I try to diffuse this with strawberries and lemon, and it just helps to encourage me and motivate me to drink water and to try to drink all this all day for the day. And so it does help me. I have it on the side of my bed and I have it everywhere I go because we do need to drink a lot of water, because if not, you can start having contractions, and you can even start having contractions before your third trimester or just during pregnancy, and just that's not good because you don't want to be dehydrated. So yeah, I picked this up on Groupon and I do not regret it at all. I'm really happy that I got it, and I think it was like $12.99. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was childbirth classes and breastfeeding classes. So being educated is really important, and so I'm mostly doing that because, well, I mostly did it for me, for my knowledge, and also because I am here in this state by myself with my husband. My family's in Florida, so I did want to have as much knowledge as possible, and also and the same for breastfeeding. I wanted to know get as much knowledge as I can from these nurses that are basically lactation specialists. They know what they're doing, they're nurses, and I wanted to get as much information as possible. And that's my goal. I do want to breastfeed, and I just definitely suggest to do those things. And the last thing is yoga. So that's definitely one of the things that helped me, that have been helping me. I don't do it every day like I was before, because I just feel tired, but I shouldn't be lazy. I should definitely do them. I feel like because once you get out of bed, you're kind of sore. Like every day, like I just feel sore. Like if I did a really hardcore workout, and that's just how my body feels. And it's also holding an almost 7-pound baby too. So I have to understand my body, why I would feel so sore. But once I start stretching and I start doing some prenatal yoga exercises that you can even download on your phone, I feel so much better. Like I feel like I can walk more than I could before. And once I just start stretching my legs and everything, I feel so much better. So I totally recommend doing prenatal yoga. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about, last thing, is upper back pain. So I've been noticing recently that my back and the top has been hurting. So I don't know if that's just how I'm sleeping, but if anyone else has kind of felt like that before, let me know, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that experiences these things, but I'm sure there's so many other people that probably experience it. But my upper back hurts a lot. Like you would think it'd be the lower back, but it's the upper back. And I don't know if how I'm sleeping, but if you guys have experienced that, let me know. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And so I do want to keep uploading frequently, and definitely upload already my labor and delivery bag, which I did film. So that video should be up literally, if not today, tomorrow or the next day. But I do want to get a lot of videos up before she's here. And so yeah, I'm really excited. And again, I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.